Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. In recent weeks, I've been highlighting plenty of stories indicating that whales have been purchasing XRP like crazy, and a lot of those whales are on an institutional level. Well, what about this headline, though? It indicates that a whale, in one single account, moved over 425 million XRP after weeks of accumulation. What's going on there? Well, I've got some thoughts on that. Also, as it turns out, you and me listening, well, me speaking, you listening out there, we're not the only ones that are really big on XRP. As it turns out, XRP is more popular in South Korea than Ethereum and Bitcoin. Also, I want to share with you some comments from Attorney John Deaton, because there's a reason, not just a reason, there's plenty of reasons that XRP is my favorite cryptocurrency. I'm always going to have a certain fondness for it no matter what. And it has to do with utility in the end, because XRP is actually solving real problems for real people, for real business use cases. And that caught my attention immediately when I came across it in late 2017 when I jumped into crypto. And here we are almost 6 years later. It's still true today, but to an even greater degree. People still are figuring it out, though, so we are here ahead of the pack. But anyway, before sharing additional thoughts, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. All right, so what's up with this splishy, splashy whale here, getting aquatic AF? With 425 million XRP. That's hundreds of billions of dollars of XRP, even at today's price. Well, piece reads as follows. XRP whales continue to amass more tokens despite the market uncertainty plaguing the asset. Amid this accumulation trend, a new unidentified address moved over 425 million XRP from Bitvavo after weeks of augmenting their holding. A whale alert, a prominent whale tracking platform, first called attention to the development in an automated post on X. Notably, the whale address transferred exactly 425,868,500 XRP from Amsterdam-based exchange Bitvavo to a new address yesterday. And interestingly, the unknown address was activated on the same day of the transaction. So here's the deal on this, and technically, I can't know for sure without speaking with whoever is responsible for this, but I will say typically when you see massive moves like this, you know, it's typically just some sort of security exercise, and you see exchanges engage in stuff like this all the time, not just with XRP, you know, but you know, the exchange itself, and this is kind of so the exchange itself accumulated the XRP in this address from multiple addresses though. And it is true, I just clicked around on a number of them on BitHomp before recording the video because I was just curious. And it does seem like most of them originated internally from other Bitvavo addresses, but I can't confirm that all of them did. So there seemed, potentially anyway, some of them coming from an outside source. And these, oh my God, the transactions were gigantic. So there were tons in the hundreds of thousands of XRP, but there are also a lot of them in the millions for single transactions. Man, can you imagine transacting like a million or million plus XRP in one single go? Because I don't know about you folks, but even though I've been in crypto for close to 6 years, most of the time I'm not moving any sort of crypto, whether it's Bitcoin, ETH, XRP, or anything. And then when I do, I freak out about it a little bit because I'm like, okay, am I screwing something up? I haven't done this in a little bit. You know, yes, I've been in this space for 6 years, but I don't move stuff. I'm not one of these holders getting in and out of positions. What if I mess something up? You know, and so I can only imagine like my fear of like having a fat finger and doing something wrong if you're moving like over $1 million worth of in a single transaction. But some people do this on a daily basis, so I guess you kind of get used to it. But you know, as far as this particular address, I'll just say if the accumulation is not a result of demand on the exchange, if it's not, then presumably the exchange, it's the only option really, would be stocking up to ensure there's sufficient liquidity for when demand for XRP picks up, which as far as I'm concerned is a virtual inevitability. But I'm still skeptical of this a bit, seeing as, you know, when you look at Bitcoin, which of course leads the market, Bitcoin's actually being drained from exchanges. And then there's outliers though. So here, first I'll highlight this. This was shared by the Bitcoin news account here, and this came from Santiment. They wrote, Bitcoin supply on exchanges at lowest level in 6 years, and they shared this screen grab. And if you want to read it, feel free to hit pause here, but this is pretty much it here. So wouldn't you expect that to be the general direction for other large cap coins as well? It depends, because even if that's the general trend, it doesn't necessarily mean that there can't be outliers. For example, and this gets into a discussion of like where's price going for the remainder of the year, but there's an account I'm not familiar with called Hall Press, 47,200 followers on X, formerly known as Twitter, and they indicated that the government has 33,000 Bitcoin to sell by the end of the year, and FTX has 500 million of majors to sell. That's how they worded it. And then Credible Crypto responded to this, because basically what the guy was getting at here is, if this is going to be dumping into the market, that's a lot of sell side there. What's that going to mean in terms of global price action for Bitcoin? Wouldn't it just go down if there's a bunch of Bitcoin getting dumped on the market? And here's what Credible Crypto had to say. Didn't Robinhood accumulate $3 billion worth of Bitcoin over the last 3 months or something? That's 4 times what the US government has to sell by year end. Point is, these big numbers look impressive, but at the end of the day, it's hard to quantify how this will affect the bottom line when there are so many other factors at play and players in the game who are making moves of their own. Okay, now that's in line with what I was initially thinking upon reading this, because the market's dynamic here, folks. And a lot of times when people are looking at individual data points like this, when you're talking about the government, what's going to be happening there, or FTX, this or that, are you sufficiently taking into account the demand side? Because so many times when people are worried about, I see this all the time in crypto, frankly. How many times do you see people bitching up a storm, and a lot of them are Bitcoin maxi trolls, but about Ripple dumping on the market, dumping the XRP, when the most you could get from this point is less than a 2-fold increase in the circulating supply of XRP. And I'm like, well, bitch, even if you're right, what about the damn supply, or demand side, rather? What about the demand side of things here? Because I think that that's substantially more important here. And then there are other factors as well. Other players getting in the game, which would affect supply and demand. There's all the entire market psychology side of all this. How are people going to behave based on gigantic news? What if there's approval of spot Bitcoin ETF? There's all sorts of factors here. And I think it's too simplistic to just look at a couple holders of crypto in general and then draw the conclusion. So I think all that to say, I think Credible Crypto makes he has a more reasonable stance, in my opinion. That's just my humble opinion. And then there was also this from ProCoin News. South Korea's Generation Z, Gen Z, known for its tech-savvy nature and interest in crypto investments, is making waves in the cryptocurrency landscape. A report by South Korean news outlet News One Korea highlights a distinctive trend among Gen Z investors. They have a strong preference for altcoins, particularly XRP, over more established cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and ETH. Yeah, and I'll note that this was the case when I jumped into crypto in 2017. That sentiment has not changed. I don't know the reason why. I haven't seen a good idea posited, a good rationale for this. I'm sure there's got to be something out there. But it is the case. And there's tremendous demand over there. And in fact, there's more demand for XRP there in terms of actual volume than there is for Bitcoin or ETH. That is astonishing. So looks like they've got their heads screwed on straight. Maybe they value utility sufficiently, even though most of the world doesn't. I don't know. I have no idea what the rationales are. But it's an interesting report. And so people have been talking about that over the last couple days. I thought I'd at least mention it. And then there was this tweet from at Whale Chart on X, formerly known as Twitter. They asked a simple question. Is Bitcoin your favorite crypto? And I responded with 3 words. It is not. That's it. I just wrote, it is not. I like Bitcoin. I mean, it's kind of cool and stuff, but it's the coin I'm least interested in. It's the least technologically sufficient. It doesn't really do stuff unless you're going to slap a layer 2 on top of it. And even that's not going so well in most cases anyway. Lightning Network isn't exactly fantastic, right? Although there is something I'd like to highlight. There's a reason I wanted to highlight this. And I do appreciate Bitcoin. I still hold it. I'm not saying it's going to go away. Maybe it's even number 1 in market cap forever. I'm not convinced of that, but it might be the case. But you can use layer 2 technology to make it do stuff. And so there is this tweet. There's somebody named Faisal Khan, and I only became aware of him recently anyway. Initially because Crypto Eddie was sharing a tweet from him, which ultimately John Deaton retweeted as well. It's the one that's on your screen here. And this guy wrote, He's referencing Spin the Bits. Actually, let's just make sure everybody's caught up to speed. I think most of you know what Spin the Bits is, but it's a platform created by a guy named Jay, and it's on the XRP ledger, and he's basically using layer 1 XRP ledger as though it were layer 2 to move Bitcoin on it, because there's a built-in decentralized exchange, so you can issue Bitcoin on the XRP ledger. And that was the whole thing. Like, he looked into using Lightning Network because he wanted to start his business, and then he's like, no, XRP Ledger is way better for this. And so he ended up using the XRP Ledger as a layer 2 technology, even though it's technically, of course, a layer 1 technology. And so there was this tweet, though, and I initially saw it again from Crypto Eddie, and Faisal Khan wrote, we're working on it, USDC with Spin the Bits, and Jay, the creator of Spin the Bits, will showcase very, very soon. So apparently, Spin the Bits is going to be doing something with stablecoin USDC. I don't have any additional information beyond that. That was just the other day, and it hasn't even technically been revealed beyond that. So once there's something, I'll be happy to report it, because just to be clear, if it's using Spin the Bits, I have every reason to believe that means that it would be on top of the XRP ledger, because Spin the Bits is entirely utilizing the XRP ledger. If there's another aspect to Spin the Bits that hasn't been revealed and it's using different technology, okay, I have no idea. That would be pure speculation here. So presumably, anyway, it would be using the XRP ledger. But anyway, attorney Deaton retweeted that and said, pay attention to Spin the Bits. And then he tagged a ton of people like Brian Armstrong and David Schwartz and Jack Dorsey, founder of Twitter, now known as X. And he said that he thinks that all those people would, quote, and other leaders within the payment sector are going to be very impressed. Jay won Ripple's, so that's again the founder of Spin the Bits, Jay won Ripple's central bank digital currency interoperability hackathon last year, beating out 500 other contestants. I don't believe there's a more important or significant term within the industry today than interoperability. Also, Spin the Bits filed an incredible amicus brief in the Ripple XRP case, educating the judge on how open source payments technology can work utilizing the blockchain. Jay wowed the crowd at XRP Las Vegas a few months ago with a live demonstration, and I believe he may be presenting at Patrick Bet-David's 2023 Vault Conference next week. Okay, so maybe we'll find out what the USDC bit is next week. That'll be fascinating. I'm going to be tracking this. But this is so cool because, like, I'm pro Bitcoin and I'm pro XRP, and I'm way more excited about XRP because it actually does stuff, and I think it's very undervalued. That's just my personal opinion. But I think, I firmly believe this. Bitcoin is helping the long-term viability of XRP, and XRP is helping the long-term viability of Bitcoin with this particular use case. Bitcoin needs XRP to be moving lightning fast, and without all the negatives that come along with Lightning Network, which doesn't work in an ideal form today. Let's just say that, to put it nicely. And so XRP is helping Bitcoin maintain, this might sound presumptuous or something, but relevance. Like, it is. I know the Bitcoin maxis would hate hearing something like that, but that's what's happening here. And but it goes both ways. It seems true, vice versa. They're helping it. See, that's what I'm saying. These are some of my larger positions in crypto, and they're helping each other to thrive and survive long term. Isn't that cool as hell? I think that's awesome. Because really, now that Bitcoin, it's become the standard, it was the first mover here, it's hard to supplant something that becomes a standard here, and it is what it is. So it looks like it's just going to technologically work the way that it was meant to, like as money effectively with the XRP ledger. So it seems to me like the problem's been solved, and if that's the case, if people sufficiently figure out that that's the case, utilizing the XRP ledger and they use Spin the Bits, well, that would help Bitcoin to maintain its position, which I'm fine with. I don't know if Bitcoin's, like I said, I'm skeptical. Maybe Bitcoin maintains its number one position in market cap. I don't really care necessarily either way. Like, I've got enough exposure to the crypto asset class. A number of things could happen, and I'm going to be pretty darn happy. But it's just exciting to see this. And I know the Bitcoin maxis would never want to admit that XRP and the XRP ledger is helping Bitcoin in any way, but it's true. It's absolutely true. And Bitcoin's helping XRP as a result. It's true. It goes together like a lemon tuna fish. Extra points to you if you know what movie reference that is without internet searching it. Good stuff here. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.